Hey guys, I'm on Vendetta, and this is another review. This time we got Arrow, Season 1, Episode 8. This one's called Vendetta. And, after last week's episode, where Huntress comes in, and now they're, good friends, Oliver Queen and Helena, Arrow and Huntress, they're good friends now. What could go wrong? Well, everything. So that's where this episode comes in, and before I get into it, just want to let you guys know that this review does contain spoilers, so if you don't want to know what happened, go watch the episode and come back. So, basically this episode starts off with the Triad and China White's ridiculous wig. I like China White, cool character and everything, but her representation on this show is stupid. I don't mean to offend anyone or anything, but come on. Like, her wig just looks so stupid and fake. It bugs me. But, getting off the topic of China White, right when the show starts, we see that the Triad are, doing a deal. China White's there in, a back alley, and Huntress pops out and is about to shoot the head of the Triad and get, everything over. If she kills the head of the Triad, basically everything's gonna be good, I guess. A lot of problems are gonna be resolved. Then Oliver kind of jumps off a roof and stops her from killing him. And this is where the conflict starts. Killing isn't my opening move, basically Arrow says. And he's right, he doesn't kill right away, but he does kill. So I don't think he's justified in stopping Helena because he has killed. But, he thinks it's for different reasons, but it just doesn't, it doesn't add up. Then we go see John. John is Oliver's bodyguard. And he kind of doesn't approve of Oliver kind of getting Huntress involved in everything. He doesn't want it to happen. He says it's going to backfire. He warns him multiple times. But Oliver, no, doesn't, he still wants Huntress, Helena, to be a part of it. I think it's more because he's in love with her. But, I don't know. So, she's kind of like his sidekick for this episode, but not really. Then we go to Walter, which is Oliver's dad. And he kind of confronts, Oliver's mom kind of confronts him and says, we haven't really talked about what happened since Walter kind of went away for a little bit because he had enough of her and, of her keeping secrets from him. And she basically says that I don't want you to think I'm lying to you, which is complete baloney because we know she is completely lying to him. But, Walter's kind of falling for it, but I don't know if he's going to find out the complete truth, but this episode kind of hints that he might. But Walter kind of believes her at first. You know what I mean? I think he wants to believe her. It's not a fact that I think he knows that she's lying, but he just wants it to work between them, their relationship. So I think he's just kind of putting it aside and saying, you know what, I'm happy. I don't want to ruin it. That's my opinion. But he kind of digs a little deeper as we'll find out. But then we go to Oliver, and Oliver's basically trying to open Helena's eyes and on the way she's doing things. She basically just kills straight away. He's basically trying to tell her, don't do that. Kind of do it like how I do. And again, I don't think it's justified because he does kill people. But another cool really scene in this episode was Oliver was teaching Helena how to use a bow and arrow, and she's failing a bunch of times. It was a cool little episode. And, it was funny because Helena kind of said a bow and arrow is the least effective way to shoot someone. And, I kind of brought that up in my other reviews. I mean, it kind of is. If you have a fully automatic machine gun, and then you have a bow and arrow, who's going to win? You know what I mean? So, unless you're Arrow, I guess. But, I don't know. It brought up a good point that I was actually thinking about. Then we go to Walter's, IT girl, the one that Oliver went to in a couple episodes back. She pulls up the image that we repetitively see the mother with. And it's that image where it's a circle with a bunch of lines through it. And every time we see this image, it has to do with the mother and her, secret group of evil people. So, Walter might be catching up on here. And then we see Oliver, and he gives Helena, a small crossbow, since she hasn't mastered the bow and arrow. So that's kind of cool seeing her get a weapon and everything. And we actually see her get her comic book costume, and she's like, oh, does it come in purple? Which is kind of cool if you're a comic book reader. And yeah, her costume now is a little more comic bookish, but it's still not a direct thing from the comic book. it's more of a modern twist, but I think it's too much of a modern twist. If we look at how they did Deathstroke, I'm pretty sure I brought this up in a previous review, but I think they did Deathstroke right. It's a perfect blend of comic book look and a modern look. Helena with Huntress, I think it's just completely modern. I think the only thing that really pulled from the comic was that it's purple. So, I don't know, it's kind of a little bit disappointed, but I guess it doesn't really matter. Then Oliver and Helena basically take down a guy on Oliver's list, and yeah, so then we go back to Walter, and he's snooping around Oliver's mom's room trying to find something with the symbol, anything with that symbol that the IT girl pulled up, and he basically finds a little book in a grandfather clock, and it has the symbol on it, and it's completely blank, similar to what Oliver's book has, the one that kind of reacts to heat and shows what's written. So, you know, I kind of assumed that that's what it was, since it looked like Oliver's book. But something I want to bring up is, if you're going to hide something that's secret and you don't want anyone to see it, why would you put it in a grandfather clock with a giant window right in front so you could plainly see where it is? I mean, I don't know if the mother's just stupid, or if she's doing this on purpose and she wants him to find out. I'm not sure, but if, let's say I was part of this secret, bad, evil organization, I wouldn't keep something that secret just out in the open like that. You can plainly see. If you walk by the grandfather clock, you'll see it in it. I mean, she couldn't have put it in a safe and something like that. I don't know, it just kind of boggles my mind, but it's just the stupidest place to hide it. Might as well just keep it out in the open, really. And then Oliver's friend, the one that's dating Laurel, he wants a job from Oliver. And Laurel kind of brings it up, because Laurel and Oliver's friend are kind of like dating now, and he gets really angry because he didn't really want to confront Oliver in that way. And so Helena, Oliver's best friend, and Laurel are all having dinner together, and it kind of goes a little haywire. And basically Helena is done with Oliver when she basically finds out that Laurel and Oliver dated before, and that Laurel's sister was killed because of Oliver, basically. So she's kind of done with him. And he kind of goes to John and is like, yeah, John was right, because he told him not to, like, get involved with Helena, and she still did. And he basically says, I can't stop her now, she's already over the edge. So, and I think she is. Helena is just out of control. Huntress is out of control at this point. So I don't know how it's gonna go on from like this point, but then as Huntress Helena goes out, kills a bunch of these, like, mafia, you know, triad people. She kills them plain in sight. Right when she walks in onto them, open fire, shoots them all. It was actually a really cool scene, though. I liked it. And one of the triad members, before she killed him, said, I don't have it written down, but he basically says, like, when you're out for revenge, dig a grave for your enemy and yourself, which I thought it was a really cool quote, and I think it's going to be applicable to Huntress, because I think this rampage that she's on, killing all these people, I think it's going to backfire, honestly, and I think she's going to get killed at some point. I'm not sure when. Then basically Walter asks the IT girl to find out everything she can on this book that he found with the Mother's Evil Organization symbol on it. Arrow goes to basically see to the scene where Huntress was, and he finds everyone dead. So again, he's more proof that Huntress is like kind of out of control. And then the Triad and China White with her ugly wig are at Helena's house, and they're about to kill. They want to go and kill Helena's dad, because, you know, he's involved with them and he's kind of double crossing them. So they're shooting up everyone, and it looks like Helena's dad's gonna die. Then Arrow swoops in like the superhero he is, and he protects Helena's dad, basically, even though he's, like, you know, a corrupt business guy too, which is kind of going against what he's doing, but, you know. And he kind of saves him, and he shoots China White in the leg. So he finally got like a shot on China White, because they were fighting for a while, and I like how they're kind of branching it out, and it's not just one fight that's kind of determines if, you know, and China White's gone. I like how they're kind of spreading China White through a couple episodes. I don't know, it's kind of cool when all the episodes connect like that. I think that's pretty awesome. Then Helena basically goes after her own father, because she basically had enough. and she shoots her own father in the leg, and he's on the floor, and she's about to, finish off her own dad, which is kind of sad. And Arrow shoots the crossbow out of her hand, and then they start fighting, and Helena's dad is just on the floor, and he picks up the crossbow, shoots Helena right in the chest. And I mean, okay, if this is a little bit of a corrupt family here. The father killed her daughter's fiance. Then the daughter tries to kill her own father, and then the father shoots her own daughter. So that's a little bit messed up, in my opinion. But then I thought for sure Helena was done. I thought Helena was going to be killed for sure. But Oliver kind of just punches Helena's dad in the face, and he's out cold. And then he brings Helena back to his little bat cave, if I will. And he saves her life. I'm not sure, since there's an arrow through her stomach, but I guess that's what happened to Oliver too on the island, so kind of makes sense, I guess. But he kind of saves her. And then after that, find out that Helena's dad's put in jail forever, basically, for everything he's done. And then Helena just straight out says stay away from me or I'll tell everyone your secret. So Helena's done with Oliver. Huntress and Arrow are not a team anymore. They're separate, and like she said, this is going to be a really big liability now because she knows Oliver's secret. She's Huntress, of course, yeah. So kind of Oliver has kind of a little bit of leverage on her too, but still, she can say, reveal that that Oliver is Arrow at any time. So that's kind of a big thing, and I guess really John was right. He was really right. So then the IT girl finds these glasses that read ultraviolet lights, so the heat signature, and it can read the book that Walter found. And then we don't really know what happens after that. But then Oliver's friend asks Oliver straight to his face for a job, and he says the general manager's up in the air, so he kind of gives it to him, so he has a job from him now. And Oliver's friend is broke, so he does need a job, and he kind of tells Oliver at that point too that he's broke. And that's kind of where the episode ends. And basically Huntress, Helena, is basically free to do what she wants now. It'd be kind of cool if they kind of leave her alone for a while, and a couple episodes, maybe the season finale, she comes back and something big happens with that. That would be pretty awesome. But I like the direction where the show is going. I'm excited to see more episodes and how the story will pan out. But yeah, I really like this episode. And again, there was no flashbacks in this episode either, which I was actually really enjoying the flashbacks. And usually I don't like flashbacks in TV shows and stuff like that because it just usually doesn't work. But in this show, it actually really works. So no flashbacks, but I'm sure there'll be more. So thanks guys for watching. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at unblesseddata, and subscribe for more news and reviews. So I'll talk to you guys later. See ya.